Hello everyone. In this video I would like to show you my Caustic Pathfinder. As always, I will start the video by running a map, which is tier 15 awakening level 8, so that you can get a better feel for this build. I will put timestamps somewhere on the video and in the description as well, so that if you want to skip to a certain section of the video, like gem setup, gear setup, budget setup, whatever, you can do so. This build can do all content in the game, and it is especially good for mapping efficiently. The build has incredible clear speed, pretty good single target, and it's also pretty solid in terms of defense. The build can be started with zero investment, and if you are willing to spend some money on the build, it actually has like incredible scalability as well. And as you can see right here, the build doesn't struggle with map bosses, which is a super nice quality of life in this patch since everything got like buffed so hard. Okay, so let's talk about the gear. I will start with the bow. You definitely want a +3 bow with the chaos damage over time multiplier affix. If you want to craft the bow yourself, it's actually fairly easy. You can craft it by using prismatic, metallic, and corroded fossils on a item level 64 or higher base. These fossils will block a lot of bad mods and make it really easy for you to get that +3. And if you get an open prefix while you're crafting, you can just craft that chaos damage over time multiplier with the bench. If you can't afford a bow like this and you don't want to like 6-link a bow yourself, I would recommend buying porcupine cards. These cards are like 3 or 4C or whatever, like really cheap, and they give you a 6-link short bow. And once you get that short bow from these cards, you can use a Shrieking Essence of Dread for the +2 to level of socketed bow gems. This is a Screaming, so you would need like combine 3 of these to get a Shrieking, and you can get +2 to level of socketed bow gems for the budget setup. Other than that, our gloves, amulets, and quivers are all hunter based because in these slots, hunter base can roll the chaos damage over time multiplier affix, which is huge. Like these are actual multipliers, so they increase your damage a lot. Again, if you want to craft items like this by yourself, which I would definitely recommend because it will be cheaper, you can spam aberrant fossils. Aberrant fossils will make it easy for you to get that chaos damage over time multiplier, and you can just like craft life resistance, whatever the remaining stats yourself. You know, these are all the same, like quiver, amulet, gloves. You can just spam aberrant fossils until you get something nice. The helmet slot, you don't need any special influence. Just get any evasion helm, preferably with caustic arrow damage, but I didn't find any. Once again, you craft these with aberrant fossils. These fossils give you that nearby enemies have minus chaos resistance, which is super nice for damage. And that's like all the mandatory pieces. The rest of this stuff is pretty optional. I'm using Thief's Torment for the mana sustain, quantity, and a lot of resistances. I am using a series steps for the life, movement, speed, and dodge. You just get any rare belt with high life resistances, and you can also get quality of life things like flask effect duration, flask charges gained. For the flasks, just get instant divine life flask. I'm using grounding for the shock removal. Witchfire brew for sure because like dispairs the curses the enemies that are close to you. Gives some damage over time and evasion super nice. Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline, always your go-to. Silver Flask of Eat for the freeze immunity, and Sulfur Flask of Boarding for the curse immunity. Since we are playing Pathfinder, we can take care of the bleed immunity with our ascendancy, so we don't need to worry about that in the flasks. I forgot to mention that we are using Carcass Jack for all the area of effect and area damage that we get from it. Okay, so let's talk about the gems. We are linking Caustic Arrow with Swift Affliction, Void Manipulation, Vicious Projectiles, Slower Projectiles, and Empower. If you can't afford the Empower 4, you can just use an Empower 3 or replace this with the Damage on Full Life gem. And if you are using an Empower 4, you can also replace the Slower Projectiles with Damage on Full Life. But I found out that it can be a little bit tricky in maps that have like no regen or whatever. So it's up to you and like depends on whatever you're doing with your character. In our helm, we have Flesh and Stone. Flesh and Stone area, as you can see right here, blinds everything in this area, radius, and blinded enemies are 50% less likely to hit you. Malevolence, just overall increased damage. Flame Dash for our movement ability, since the initial cast doesn't take like any cast time, so it's super fast. Withering Step is super nice, because like, first of all, it gives us a lot of dodge, as you can see, with the initial cast. You can also use it to apply Wither to enemies, like bosses or whatever. You can just pop this, walk near the boss, and apply Wither. In our boot setup, we have a cast 1 damage taken setup. Cast 1 damage taken, Steel Skin, Vortex. Super nice for survivability. using Flame Golem for like a little bit of extra damage. You can use whatever you want. In our gloves, we have Wither setup. Wither, multiple totems, increased duration, and spell totem. You know, just this makes it so that like it basically that doubles your damage in boss fights or whatever, since it reduces the enemy's chaos resistance. In our chest, like this doesn't have to be a 5 link. You just need a 4 link here, and you need to use Frenzy, Curse on Hit, Despair, and Greater Multiple Projectiles. This is for like boss fights when you wanna curse bosses and keep your Frenzy stacks up. Blood Rage for just when you're clearing the maps to have Frenzy charge sustain. Since I had this like extra 5 link, I also put Decay on my Frenzy for just a little bit more damage. Like, this isn't really important. That's basically all the gems. Okay, so let's talk about the passive tree. We picked Pathfinder because it gives us a lot of chaos damage, as you can see from these 2 notes, and it also gives us 50% area of effect for our chaos skills. As you can see, the area of our Caustic arrow is actually huge. The Pathfinder also gives us like movement speed, attack speed, bleed immunity, and a lot of flask effectiveness, as you can see right here, which is super nice. We are taking phase acrobatics and like acrobatics, and as you can see, our chance to dodge is 40%, chance to dodge spells is 46%, and our chance to evade attacks is 45%, which is super nice for defense. Other than that, I will let you take a look at the tree. I will also put POB link in the description if you want to take a look from there. I should mention that when you're buying jewels, the first 2 stats in this jewel are like the best things that you can get. Chaos damage over time multiplier and the increased maximum life. For the third stat, you can just get anything you want, like area damage, chaos damage, projectile damage. You can cap your resistances, maybe get some stats like dexterity, intelligence, whatever. It's up to you, like, and what you need. The first 2 stats are what's really important. You know, we're getting like a lot of life, some projectile damage, getting the jewels, because like jewels are really actually so important for this build. I should also mention that whenever you can afford this, anoint your amulet with corruption. This is like pretty much the best thing you can get for damage with the anointment system. This gives you like a lot of damage. So I guess like that's it about the passive tree. Let's quickly go over the Pantheons. Soul of Shakari, I would recommend getting this because it gives you immune to poison, which is super nice. And like these big things, it's up to you. I picked Soul of Solaris, but like whatever, you can maybe go for Brine King for stun immunity or whatever, like freeze immunity, whatever you want. It's up to you. So I think that's it, guys. Let me know if I've missed anything in the comments. I will answer you as fast as I can. And also, please let me know what you think of my videos. I would really appreciate some feedback. So that's it, guys. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.